Hello guys, this is Saber. Um, I've been having a ton of fun in this game in Mortal Kombat 11, and my main is actually Shao Kahn. Now Shao Kahn is kinda low tier, people have been saying, and they're kinda right. But regardless, I'll be showing you some ways that I've been applying pressure with this character. Um, which the neutral is kind of easy to figure out. He has huge normals, right? But how do you really pressure with him? That's where people are struggling, um, because he his strings almost exclusively start with highs, and he does not have a real overhead low mix-up. That's not there. So if you've been thinking that mixing people up is a struggle, then you're not wrong. It is kind of a struggle, but there's still some stuff which I will be showing you. Also important to note is, yes, I am using the Risen Emperor variation. Um, Number one is because right now it's the most, it's the strongest variation, and I also think that even conceptually it's his strongest variation. Like, assuming they don't over buff or over nerf one or the other, I think just as an idea, Risen Emperor is a better variation. Um, because this thing buffs his throws, that indirectly gives him a better mix-up game, and that is just the most lacking thing about Shao Kahn. Um, so assuming that they don't, ignore one variation completely for the other, balance-wise, then I think this variation will remain the strongest one. Okay, first up, I'm gonna start with what I think is his most important normal, his strongest normal. Um, and you may think it's a boring normal, but even still, it's his down 4. This has stupid range. It's relatively fast considering how far it goes, at 10 frames of startup, and because it's a down 4 button, it will low profile certain things if they're highs, like projectiles, or if they're doing a 1 or a 2 and they haven't jailed you, then you can push this and it will high crush them. So already it's pretty good. Like, just in neutral, you can walk people down with this very easily. Now when you connect with it, there's a good bit of pushback, as you can see, but that doesn't really matter with this character, and you are plus 15 on hit. So the very basic mix-up, and you will see this, this one is a recurring theme in the video, is you hit with this, and then you're going to either forward 2, which, the forward 2 one string is very good to use for staggering. But of course, the downside to forward 2 is that this one, the forward 2, is a high, so they can't duck it. But you can keep people honest by doing this into either that, the back 3, or just raw shoulder. That also works, which is not needed because that's a combo, and you can get follow-ups there. Now, a big assumption I'm making, and this assumption may be true for online, but perhaps not for offline, is that I'm assuming that they are unable to react to this normal. If they are able to react to this normal, then this mix-up is completely dead. It's not there. This is like, it hits on frame 22. So I suspect that good players who know the matchup offline, they will react to this, and then you need to do some other stuff. But there's more to this normal. You can also do, if you hit with this, the distance is kinda big here, right? But if you do like a tiny microdash, then you can get some other stuff. So microdash into back 2 works, or microdash into back 4, the sweep. If you don't do the microdash, you get something like this and you just look stupid. Another thing you can do, which is relatively safe, it's not a true frame trap, but I'm having difficulties figuring out what they might be able to squeeze in here other than a fatal blow. So you hit this, hold on, I messed up the buffer, and then you just do a raw down back 2 without cancelling. And it's relatively safe considering the spacing and whatnot. Of course, if they backdash, you might be in trouble. And finally, we're still on the same normal, but I'm gonna put us in the corner now. If you hit with this up close, then you can you know, you still have the plus 15 frame advantage, but you don't get the pushback. So you can jail into, you know, and that's actually not optimal because that's a meterless launch in the corner. If you're going to down back 4, 1-4 down back 4, that's a meterless launch in the corner. So that's what you get off of down 4. And actually, I'm gonna put us mid-screen again. You can also do the same stuff pretty much off of back 2. So just back 2 in neutral works pretty much the same way, except there's an added bonus. If you hit it very close, then you can get the jail, the jab string jail mid-screen, which you can never do with the down 4, but you can do it with the back 2. And both of these normals are safe. This one, down 4, is technically punishable if they block it extremely close to you. But if you just space it a bit, then they're not punishing this ever, unless they flawless block launch you or something. Now in the last part, I showed you how you could hit with a meaty sweep. Sweep is very strong because it's safe on block, only -2, which is pretty insane. And you know, it gives you a knockdown, it moves you forward. So the safety in this move is in them blocking it. Of course, if you whiff it, you know, the recovery is pretty long and you're standing right in their face. So if they're ready, you will get combo punished for whiffing it. But blocking it, you're pretty safe. And you get a mix-up when you hit this. Well, I'll go over the basic one first. So if you hit back 4, you just very easy, you get a meaty forward 4. Of course, if they delay their wake up slightly, like the tiny delay, they might punish you here. It's also, you know, this is very telegraphed, so if they're reacting, they might be able to flawless block it on wake up, which is not ideal. Another thing you can do, and this is a mix-up, so you hit with the back 4, and you get a meaty hop 2 or hop 1, whatever you prefer pressing, overhead. So that's a meaty overhead. Of course, if they... Hold on, let me turn on the get up attacks. I think this is the one. Yeah, that's the invincible one, right? So if I try the hop attack, he hits me out of it. But if I do an empty hop, I can block it. And depending on who I'm facing, like Shao Kahn's up 3 reversal is kind of safe, it's only -8. But let's say if I'm doing against Kollector, Kollector's up 3 is -10, so if I block that one, I could, you know, get my 1-2 string and punish him. And of course, if you're really good, I'm trying to... Yeah, what I'm trying to show is you can empty hop and then flawless block punish. Right, and if they roll here, then yeah, you counter them. If you do the empty hop, right, that's the mix-up. Will you do the overhead, which is unsafe, so that's a risk you're taking, or if you do the empty hop, which will block a wake-up attack that they're attempting, and you're still able to mix them up after you land. And if they roll, you can roll them out of it, stuff like that. I was going to show something else. Oh yeah, if they do the reversal up 2, it will just beat it outright, because up 2s are not invincible, remember? So this attack is just a true meaty. Yeah, if I don't mess it up, that is. There we go. Now, this back 4 setup that I showed you, you can actually use this on a bunch of other knockdowns. I'm not going to show you now these. The next setup I'm going to show you is especially strong in the corner. It will work mid-screen sometimes, but it's really strong in the corner. It goes like this, right? And after that jump, you can do whatever you want. So that's just a meaty jump, and that works after forward 4 and, you know, the other knockdowns I will be showing on screen here. Important is that it also works after down back 2, which you need to hold back if you do this. And that's good because if you end your corner combos with this special, then you get to do this setup. So you get a meaty jump, right? Whatever. However, if they get up 2, which I think is this one. Let me just verify. Yes. If they do that, you will hit them out of it, right? So that's good. But if they up 3, yeah, they will hit you out of it. But again, same as with the empty hop, you can just hold up and block them, right? So that's the mix-up here. And again, if they try to roll out, which especially if you're doing it in the corner, as I'm suggesting, what you do is you do the knockdown, hold up. Hold on, I forgot to confirm this, I think. Yeah. So you just do the knockdown, hold up for the jump, and as you land, you're holding forward and mashing throw. And then, because you're holding, you know, in the direction of the corner, you will always throw them back in the corner, basically. So you do this. Hold on, messed up the timing here. Yeah, it's kind of difficult. You know, you need to grind this a bit. There we go. And then you throw them back in the corner. For this next one, we're going back to mid-screen. And again, this setup that I'm going to show you, it applies to plenty of knockdowns, which I'll make sure they appear on screen somehow. But the most important one is probably down back 3, which is what you'll be ending a lot of combos with, right? You end in, you know, quite a bit of frame advantage and at a, you know, reasonable distance. But I think I still have this. Yeah, let me turn this off. Plus 35 did not look right. It's supposed to be plus 18, I think. Plus 19, yeah, whatever. So you can do some pretty tricky stuff here. So I'm going to go over the basic thing first. Is you hit this, then you walk up, right, and you get either, you know, the classic forward one hit confirm, or you know, if you think they'll block because they're afraid of it, you know, you throw them. So that's the basic thing. And of course, because it is kind of telegraphed, you're getting this knockdown and then you just walk over. You can also just walk over and block in case you fear, you know, them doing something like a up 3 on wake up. Another thing you can do, hold on, that's not what I wanted, which is very basic, but it's just meaty forward 2. They can't really interrupt that. They can duck it, right? So this same mix-up applies that I showed earlier, where you just do this, and if they try to duck a forward 2, if they think forward 2 is coming, you can do, you know, a back 3 or just a raw shoulder. That also works. Whatever floats your boat. Very risky mix-up, as I said earlier, and again, that's assuming that they cannot react to forward 2, which I think some players can. So you need to be yeah, you need to be ready for that. Also, I mentioned doing walk up block to beat up 3, but you can also just, you know, do that to beat their reversal. Another thing, especially against a character like Shao Kahn, who has a huge up 3. Is this it? Is this up 3? I think it is. Yeah. You can backdash and then whiff punish him. Yeah. Into the combo, you know. So backdash, and if they do anything, you can whiff punish with your huge forward 2. Also, another thing I didn't mention is, you know, you can just keep it simple, which is to just, yeah, I need to turn this off first, obviously. That's random. That's not off. If you want to keep it simple, you can just walk up and do this, or walk up and do the back 2. Right? If you want to jail them, if you want to do something that's, you know, non-committal. If you just want to throw something out, you know, maybe you just need one poke to close a round. Maybe you just, you know, don't feel like risking it. Then you can just do down 4, back 2. No need to risk it. They can't neutral duck these moves. They need to block them because they're not highs. Okay, and that leaves us with the final knockdown. Really, that's worth discussing. It has unique frame advantage. So up until now, I've been able to cluster some of these moves and knockdowns together because the frame advantage is either the same or they're just between 1 and 3 frames off. So you can pretty much like create a universal setup for them. For this one, that's not possible, and it's down back 4 without meter burning. As you can see, it's plus 54 in this case. I think that's because Shao Kahn is a big guy. This is supposed to be like plus 52 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's in the plus 50 range. So the first thing I want to mention here is that if you're gonna risk the priest at any point, if you are crazy enough to try it, because it is always unsafe, this is the best chance you're gonna get. You're going to be about minus 30 if you do it here, and that's, I mean, it's not getting better than that, I'm sorry to say. In the current patch, this is as good as it gets. And maybe, if you're lucky, they will stay down, they will delay their wake up for whatever reason. And if they do, well, then you got your priest off. And if they didn't, then you can still hope that they don't know how unsafe you are when you do this. But yeah, if you're gonna try to get the priest out, then I think this is the spot. And only do it, obviously, mid-screen. I wouldn't attempt it in the corner because then you're right in their face. And you also don't need to do it in the corner because if you hit this in the corner, you're getting a launch that you can convert into a combo. Right. There's more stuff you can do here. One thing is you can frame kill with 1, and then you get a meaty forward 4. Meaty. It's pretty telegraphed again. So they can flawless block it, but the flawless block itself, thankfully, does not change the plus frames on this thing. It remains plus 6. So if they want to punish it, they will have to spend the bars on it, which is fine, I guess. Another basic thing you can do is you can do a double dash and then you cancel the second dash. So you let the first dash rock, then you do the second one, and then towards the end of the second dash you cancel it into either a forward 3 or a throw, and that's your mix up. So I'll show it again. Hold up. And then you can do the hit confirm, or as I said, was a bit early there, but you get the idea. If I had waited like maybe 2 or 3 frames longer, then I would have grabbed him there. Then there is this this final setup where you frame kill with a down 4, and then you can get the meaty forward 2, and you're supposed to go into a combo. But I was kind of mashing because if you wait just a bit too long, let me see if I can get it here. No, I'm hitting it. Might be dependent on spacing, but sometimes the forward 2, maybe like that, yeah, sometimes the forward 2 will not reach, so that is something that you need to keep in mind. And again, like forgot the thing here, the buffering in this game really gets me, but you know what I'm trying to do, that, right? So if you get them, if you think they're gonna be ducking this, then you can check them with either the shoulder or with the back 3. I don't think back 3 reaches in this case, but it might if you do it very close. And also very basic again is you do this, do the frame kill down 4, and you wait, and then I didn't really punish here because I was kind of chilling, but yeah, I wasn't reacting here because it's training mode, but you can definitely react with a whiff punish to that stuff like that. That's really, I'm not doing optimal combos either, but yeah, if you just don't close this distance on your meaties, and you do the thing that would telegraph a meaty, in this case the frame kill down 4, you can bait stuff like an up 2 or a up 3 out of them. Maybe even a short range fatal blow, and then you can smack him and go into a combo. Finally, you're not always going to hit stuff, obviously. It's important to know when you still have advantage on block with Shao Kahn, and there's really only 3 situations. The first is when your 1 is blocked, then you're plus 3. When your forward 4 is blocked, and remember I've shown you a ton of setups where you do this thing meaty. So after you've hit this, you can do, like, the basic thing is the forward 3 or the throw mix-up. That's the very basic thing. That's a forward 4, and also your 4-4. So this thing, that's also +6. So basically, it leads into the same situation as the forward 4. Now, what you need to know about the forward 4 is that if you're not doing it meaty, you know, it's 28 frames of startup. So if they're mashing on you, they will interrupt you. And, you know, if they're reacting, they might even be able to fatal blow you. Or if they flawless block it, then they can up to and they will launch you. But it is a mid, so that's what it has going over the other two. This forward 4 and the 1 are highs. So what you need to do is, let me see, random combo. Yeah, so you would need to hit with like a down 4 here first, or a back 2 to jail them, and then you can do either a 1 or a 4 or a 4-4. So not there. There you're minus. You wouldn't press. But there you can jail them. And if they did not block that, then you're like +20 or something, I think, if you hit the 1, which is huge. You can basically do whatever you want. And if they block it, you're still +3. So if you do a forward 3 there or a throw, they're not interrupting it. So yeah, that's basically Shao Kahn. I might go more in depth on the staggers in another video, because I've told you that, yeah, you can stagger with this thing, for example, but you know how, right, and stuff like that. I haven't really gone in depth on this thing either, because there are videos already out there that do, especially Rooflemonger's video. Rooflemonger has like a 30-minute video out on Shao Kahn, which you should definitely check. I've tried to hit some points that he didn't, and the reason I'm not hitting other points is because he already did. So yeah, I hope this helped. I'm definitely maining Shao Kahn. I will continue to play him, so if you liked what you saw, if you want to see more tech for this character, then do subscribe. I mean, I am pretty much in every game I play, I am a character specialist. Like in Street Fighter it's Zangief, in Soul Calibur it's Geralt. You know, so if I play a character, I find tech for them and I post it. That's what I do. So yeah, hopefully until next time, and hopefully by then this thing will be usable, so we can finally, you know, start doing some crushing blows. Bye guys.